Okay, all right. So, hi everyone. My name's Jo Soley. A lot of you know me. I'm going to be talking about using the power of numerology to elevate your business success. If you have questions, maybe you could pop them in the chat. Ali could collate them. I'm going to keep talking, maybe for like 10 minutes, and then I will stop and I will answer any questions and show you how to work out your life path number. Now, I ask you to empower yourself to do this piece because it is a little bit tricky. It does need a little bit of thought, but I'll take you through the calculation. If you really, really, really can't do it, then I'll work it out for you. But when there's a lot of people, sometimes it's hard to work everyone's out. So if you can work it out, great. All right? So let's go. So here's the most exciting thing. There's no mistakes. If you're working with a number, you're working with it for a reason. We're all named, we're all numbered, we're all coded, we're all placed in this great eternal plan that we call life. Now, here's the thing. It's not meant to be easy, but we make it more difficult, all right? Life is a school. School has a playground. School is not a playground. We are here to learn, and we forget that. We're here to learn what we didn't finish learning in a previous life. And you can see that in your numeric energies. You can see what you're here to learn. You can see what you're here to work with. I'm here to do a job you can't do. You're here to do a job I can't do. If we don't do that job, it doesn't go to the next person. It just doesn't get done. Everybody is needed here. Everybody is part of this great eternal plan. And when you align to the numbers that you're working with, then life works out. So you might have heard phrases like, your days are numbered. I'm not saying that out loud at the moment. Or, I've got your number. Or your number's up. And it's true because numbers speak and their language is numerology. So I'm a business coach with 25 years experience in sales, marketing and business development. Yes, I'm 47. I look 27 and I sound 12. But we know that people do business with you if they like you, if they know you, and if they trust you. But numerology helps you like, know and trust yourself. Because we're so busy worrying about our clients, our collaborators, our relationships, our family, our friends, etc., our community, that we don't actually really understand who we are. And when we can lean in to that energy and really appreciate why we do what we do, who we are, how we tick, then guess what? Life doesn't have to be as difficult as we make it because we're working with the numeric energies that we're here for. So there's better times and easier times to do things. And we work in 9-year cycles, which Ali talks about. So I'm going to, I'll touch on those so you can understand how they come in. But basically, numerology is as old as the hills, okay? It's since the beginning of time, numerology was used. Pythagoras is the godfather of numerology, but it was in the Babylonian times. They used it in Mesopotamia, Nero, Plato. It's in the Kabbalah, it's in the Bible, but it's as new as the next decision that you're going to make. So there's not actually much outside of our control when we align to what's going on exactly in front of us. Now, numbers are magic, they're energy, they're innate, they're deep, they're cosmic, they're inherent, they're fundamental of form. Maths deals with the fact that 2 and 2 is 4. But numerology takes that 4 and it gives it an essence, it gives it an energetic quantity, it gives it a quality. But more importantly, it gives it like a story. So 4 in life, we've got 4 fingers, 4 seasons, 4 directions, 4 chambers of your heart, 4 chambers of your brain, 4 legs to this chair, 4 pairs to your DNA, 4 packs in the suit of cards, 4 major archangels, 4 gospels, etc., etc., etc. 4 gives us direction in life. 4 is about structure and control and routine and system. And I'm born on the 4th of the 4th. You ask Ali, I'm a bit of a little dog with a bone. I don't let anything go because that's my 4 energy. Okay? So we're all working with a different story, a different quality. So what I'm going to do is show you your quality, your story, and how you can work with that. So how I got into this 3 years ago, I went to an event and it was International Women's Day. So 2017, because 18 and 19 and 20, I've been with you guys in Spain. And in 2017, and he actually said, Richard Abbott, who was the keynote speaker, forget International Women's Day, it's International Women's Millennium, right? Why? Because we're in the energy of the 2. And 2 is about all things female. So we were born into the 19, which is 10, which is 1. I'm working with the energy of the 1. It's leadership, it's innovation, it's originality, it's self-employment, it's high quick start. Okay? It's masculine energy. So remember, we had like 4 channels to the TV. There was Scargill and Thatcher and Reagan. No judgment, men led, women followed. It was a very masculine vibration. When I think about how my friends who have got teenagers parent now, it was very different to the way we used to parent. Not that one's right or wrong, but it was quite a masculine way to parent. Now it's quite a feminine way to parent. There's more and more women running their own businesses now. There's more and more sensitivity with regards to relationships and sexuality now. There's more and more, well, the 2 energy, uncertainty, because the 2, there's 2 sides of the story. There's always 2 options. 2 is like water. I can't hold this water in my hands for the next 20, 30 minutes because it will go everywhere. So 2 is very emotional. It's like we're on a boat. It's A to B to A to B. So it's very different times to when the times we were born into. Now we're actually in 2020. So if you think back to the 1920s, it was all about femininity and, you know, a Charleston and flappers and female empowerment a little bit. And that's what is happening now. So we're not only in 2020, we're in the 2 decade, a 2 millennium. The Dalai Lama said the Western woman is going to save the world. But at the moment, we're in a 22 year, which is a master number. It's a big deal, okay? It's a 22 energy. So 22 is the architect of change. In the tarot, 22 is judgment. Upright, judgment is certainty. Reversed, judgment is uncertainty. So what's happening at the moment? Uncertainty. So we're in a 22 year, and I wrote a blog at the beginning of the year saying the way to deal with 22 is to go to 4. Structure, control, routine, system, okay? But we don't, I mean, it's been crazy since the offset, hasn't it? The royal family was breaking up, and then Trump, he was going to get impeached, and then he assassinated somebody, and then the floods over here, and the fires in Australia, and then this pandemic. And we're only 5 months in. So we've got months and months and months of craziness. So it's not over yet. So put your seatbelts on, because 22 is a master number. It is the architect of change. It's a huge energy. And if we're not working correctly with that energy, then we're going to go into uncertainty. 1966 was a 22 year, and England won the World Cup. Look at 2020, global pandemic. So the more structure you can put in your life, the more order, the more kind of this is what's happening, the more you can look after yourself, the more you can have control, routine, systems, the more we can make sense of this energies, because it's just going to get more intense. And in April, it was really, serious, wasn't it? And that's a 4-month structure, control, routine system. In March, everybody was talking about it, and 3 is communication. Now we're in 5 energy, we're in May, so everyone's getting a bit more adventurous and free. But then in June, 6, family, responsibility, relationships. So just be careful. I'm not saying it's all going to fall down again, but just be careful in I think in Spain you're kind of a bit more sensible than we've been. Well, your government has been, but it's the energies of the numbers playing out. Okay, so numbers, they're not just work with us, they work in decades, they work in seasons, they work in millenniums, they work in months and years and days, etc. All right, so now we're going to, so is there any questions so far? Because that was quite a big concept to introduce you to. Is there any questions so far before we look at your life path number? No?
There's no questions, just Anne saying it's her birthday today. So that's a good day to be doing it.
Ah, cool. So that's good. So I'll work yours out as a treat if you struggle. I'll help everyone, but you know. Right, okay. So we're going to look at your life path number today. So numerology works so many ways. The house you're in, your PIN number, you can add those 4 digits up and then you get an energy, and that energy is the energy which comes into your bank account, so you can change your PIN number. Your car number plate, you can add those numbers up, and those numbers are the vibration in which you're driving through. The town you live in, like Welling to me is a 2, so Ali's town, or Spain. Spain vibrates at a 5, which is adventure and freedom. But then if you call it España, I think that is a different energy altogether. I think it might be a 2. Or how do you spell it? Espana?
Yeah.
Let me quickly work it out. But you can see, so it plays out in so many different ways. But when we're relating it, yeah, 2. I thought it was a 2. So in Spain, when you're in Spain, because it's called España, it's a 2, which is feminine, and it's sensitive, and it's about togetherness and partnership and team, and it's quite intuitive. So the energy of 2 is very different to how we see Spain if we're calling it Spain, which is 5, adventure and freedom and growth and expansion. Okay, so numerology plays out everywhere, but when we're talking about us, we have a life path number, which is your main number in numerology. Now, if you change your name, you change your life, but you cannot change your date of birth. It's impossible. So we're going to work that out in a minute. But as Ali said earlier, there's better times and easier times to do things because we work in 9-year cycles. So we've got a personal year 1, which is new beginnings. Then you go into an 11-year, which is a bit emotional. I've just come out of mine. It was a turbulent year, but because I knew it was turbulent, I could manage it. Then you go into a 3-year, which is about communication. And I'm in that now. Then you go into a 4-year, which is structure and routine and control. Then you go into a 5-year, which is expansion and change. Then you go into a 6 year, which is all about your family and love. Then you go into a 7 year, which Ali knows no one brings you back. Then you go into an 8 year, which is success and wealth and abundance, and you harvest all the energies of the last 7 years. Then in a 9 year, you let go and release and shed and give back which no longer serves. So you've got a clean slate, so you can start again in a 1 year. So not every year is a growth year. Not every year is a high performance business year. Sometimes the tide is in, sometimes the tide is out. Sometimes the tide's in, sometimes the tide's out. Ali's in an 8 year, the tide is in. I'm in a 3 year, the tide is in. But if you're in a 7 year Ali was in, or 11 year I was in, then it's more challenging. But there's ways you can build your business, but we've just got to go about it another way. All right. So your number's your friend. When you let it into your life, there's so much possibility available to you. So this is how you work it out. So you take your full date of birth. So here's mine as an example. If you are struggling, then put your numbers in the chat, but give it a go first. So it might be good to grab your phone so you can use your calculator, but you take your date of birth. So for me, it's 4/4/1973. So I'll wait a minute and I'll let everyone catch up. So if we do 4 + 4 + 1973, we get to 1981. If we just wait till everyone's done that, so they've got their 4-digit number, because everyone will have a 4-digit number. Okay, so everyone happy? Everyone's got a 4-digit number. Whole numbers, not 4 + 4 + 1 + 9 + 7 + 3. Whole numbers. Okay, and then what we do, we take that 1981 in my case, and we do 1 + 9 + 8 + 1. So that gives me 19. Now we don't work with 19 in numerology. We work with 1 to 9, 11, and 22, sometimes 33. But in the life path numbers, 1 to 9, 11, and 33. So I need to reduce that to a single digit, or 11, or a 22. So 19 goes to 10, 1 and 9 is 10, and then 1 and 0 is 1. So I'm working with the energy of the number 1. But Ali's a 22, because hers would say something like, if you think you're 4, you're probably a 22. If you get to 2002, because 0's just source divine energy, we just move it out of the way. Then we've got a master number. Okay, so has everybody got a number? Anyone need a hand? You've got a number, everyone? Yeah? Okay, anybody need a hand? I'll just look in the chat. Is anyone saying anything, Ali? Oh.
Jan, is that yes, you've got a number, or yes, you need a hand? And Christine's saying, yes, please, if you have a 10.
Okay, oh God, I don't know what's going on with my...
No, it doesn't show you when you're sharing your screen, it doesn't show you the chat.
Oh, right, okay. So I'll stop sharing for 1 minute. I'm a 5, I'm a 6. If you have a 10, you're a 1. As a date, how do you calculate? Okay, so if you go down to 10, then you're 1. But if you're born on the 10th, you mean, you just do 10 plus the month plus 22, brilliant, 5, great. So everyone's got a date, okay.
Jan,
so,
did you have a date, or are you saying yes, you have a date, or yes, you need help?
I have.
I have, okay.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, we can always, Ali will keep an eye out. Okay. All right, so then you've got your number, okay? So So take a note of the title. So for me, 1 is the leader, 2 is the sensitive, 3 is the communicator, 4 is the builder. Now there probably won't be any 4s here. You're probably, if you think you're a 4, you're a 22, but I can help with that. 5 is the adventurer, 6 is the nurturer, 7 is the thinker, 8 is the boss, the CEO, 9 is the humanitarian. Then we go into 11 and 22. So Coral, you're a 22, aren't you, as well? And okay. Cool. Okay, brilliant. So hands up if you're working with the energy of the number 1. So 1 is very masculine. It's all about innovation and leadership and creativity. Well, not really creativity, more like thought leadership. It's about entrepreneurialism. It's fire. It's the magician in the tarot. Okay, so they jump over a mountain, then they look behind them. So 1, I'm working with so much 1 because J is a 1 for Joanna. Joanna's a 1. I'm a 1. I've got loads of 1 in my name. So then when you've got so much of an energy, you can like burn yourself out, or, you know, never stop, or, you know, so you have to watch what's going on in the frequencies of the numbers. Okay. So 1, Lady Gaga is a 1. She is her brand. Steve Jobs was a 1, but he needed Steve Wozniak to do quite a lot of the work. So 1s need support. They're good at kind of like running from the front, but they need a team of people behind them putting the work into play. They are not very good at being self-employed. They hate being told what to do. And also big groups of people or lots of networking, it's not very 1 energy, because they just have to really put their head down and get on with it. Okay, so in business, network marketing is difficult for a 1 life path because they don't really like doing the same as everybody else. So it's good if they can find their thing that they really love and where there's interest, there's ability, and that's how they can align, you know, going forward, like I have with the numerology in the business. All right. So if you're working with the energy of the number 2, like I said about the 2000s, and forget International Women's Day, it's International Women's Millennium, the 2 is feminine energy. So the 2 in the tarot is the High Priestess. It's about sacred knowledge and divine femininity. So 22 has a bit of 2 energy as well. So 2 is about, who's a 2? Barack Obama was a 2, and he used to say, we can do this, but we're not going to, because we can do this, but we're not going to, because we can do this. So it's about seeing both sides of the story. So it's good in partnership, it's good in team. They quite enjoy network marketing. They like networking. They'd be good at maybe running a group, but they're not the power behind, they're not the power on the throne like a 1 life path. They're the power behind the throne. So they do need a plan. It is like eating an elephant with a teaspoon, baby steps. So they can sometimes in the negative be in lack and fear and panic, you know, which we can see playing out in the year and the times we're in at the moment. But in business, it's good if they work with other people. They're good at working on their own, and they're good at working together. All right. So who's working with the energy of the number 3? So 3 is communication. 3 is lucky. Kylie Minogue is a 3. She sang I Should Be So Lucky. So 3s attract money. They attract good opportunities. They wouldn't say they're lucky, but they are. A lot of 3s are in these reality TV shows like I'm a Celeb or Big Brother or Towie and things like that, because they want some publicity and they don't care what it is. So they're very creative, they're very imaginative, they've got a book in them. So this year, I'm in a personal year 3, so this year I'm finding that I'm kind of writing more inspired content because I'm in that 3 energy. So threes like to spend money. They like nice times. They like nice things around them. But it's not about working really hard. It's about working smart. So it's very musical as well. Gary Barlow, Kylie Minogue, Queen Victoria was a 3. So the thing to remember is you're not the number next to you. So Ali struggled in her 7 year, and like the number next to 7 is 8, and 8 is so, you know, different to 7. So the 3 is about communication, whereas the 4 is about work and structure and order and grafting and putting your head down and getting on with it. Like the analogy I used with regards to the, you know, the 4 seasons, 4 directions, 4 elements. So I doubt if there's any 4s here. If you think you're a 4, let me know later when I stop sharing, because you're probably 22 and I can work it out and explain. So there's no famous 4s that I've found, because they're all 22s, because 4s aren't being entrepreneurs. They've got their head down working hard for other people, right? So I've done hundreds of these sessions now and lots of these masterclasses and spoken on stage many times, and I have not met one 4. And I can call it, there won't be one in the room, because 4s would think numerology was rubbish. So 5s, I think I saw a couple of 5s. 5, like moving to Spain would be a very 5 thing. 5's about adventure and freedom and expansion and growth. And during these times, you would feel very, 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 you'll feel very, very, very kind of hemmed in and struggling more than any other number, because you need adventure, you need travel, you need freedom. Was that a message, Ali?
Yeah, Marianne said if you're in your 13th year work, you are a 4. I'm not sure I understand what she means. Marianne, do you want to unmute yourself and tell us what you mean?
Yeah, so if you are working, this is my 13th year in this particular job, then I have to relate to that as being my 4, no? 1 plus 3 is 4.
So,
For
so you
business.
do 9 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then we go back to 1. So we
Okay,
we don't keep going.
Okay, thank you.
You probably so 9, 10, 11, 12. You'll be in a 4 year, but not a 13 year.
Okay, thank you.
So 5 is Beyonce, Cameron Diaz. It's quite a sexy energy. Russell Brand is quite naughty, actually. 5s, they can't fake it till they make it. If they don't want to do something, they can't. It's not about the journey. It's about being free to move forward, change, 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 change. Okay. So in business, global clients and overseas travel is very, you know, 5s end up doing global expansion and international clients and international speaking. However, they struggle to actually stop running around in circles and actually grounding an idea. So they need a team to help them do that. So 6 is all about love and togetherness and parenting, nurturing. And in business, it's about building tribe, building audience, building community. It's Zoe Ball, it's Karen Brady, it's Jeff Bezos and Warren Buffett. There are 6, but it's all about this, it's connection. So it's not really about the money, it's service over success. The more they can serve, the more money that they can make. 6s are heavily invested in family. They probably bite off more than they can chew. So it's about making sure that you can manage your responsibilities. And it is about creating this tribe. So 7 is the thinker. It's all about the mind. It's about mysticism. It's about science. It's about thinking, and it's the odd one out. So every year you get a chance to be another number. In a 7 year, you feel what it's like to be a 7, really. Stephen Hawkins was a 7. Einstein, Freddie Mercury, Princess Diana, the Queen is a 7. You can't rush her. So she 7 is all about thinking. They need space, they need time. They come up with good ideas, but you can't rush them. They're the odd ones out. So in business, it's about research and development and innovation. The 8 is the boss. It's the CEO. It's about money. It's about success. It's about wealth. And no judgment, that's how it should be. It's about being comfortable with being a strong woman. It's about being self-employed and having high standards. It's quality over quantity, and it's about 8's nail it in business. Giorgio Armani is an 8, Barbara Streisand is an 8. The negative of 8 is a bit more Naomi Campbell, being a bit bossy and dominant. But in your 8 year, you nail it in business. You're strong. You create the infinity, the abundance, success and wealth. There will be more expenses, but there's more money coming in. It's about making friends with the energy of money. In the tarot card, the 8th card is the strength card. So there's a lion, and she's got she's holding the lion, and the lion's under control. So it's about engaging with the lion, and she's ruled, but we don't want to lord it over others. We want to bring people up to our level, because as we start to go up the numbers, we become more spiritual. So 8s are a spiritual number, but they use it in terms of their intuition in all things related to finances, property, success and business. All right. 9 is this beautiful energy. All numbers go into 9. So 9 is an old soul. They've been here before. It's quite hard to be a 9 because you have to make your life about other people, and people take and take and take, and then you think, oh, sod this for a game of soldiers, and then you make life about you, but it will not work. So 9 energy is Gandhi and Mother Teresa, but it's also Adele, actually, Robbie Williams, 9 energy. There's a program here called Escape to the Chateau. I don't know if you've got it, but there's 2 people who have bought this dilapidated chateau, and they do it up, and they're doing it for the chateau, they're doing it for these weddings, and it's service over success, but in the meantime they've made a multi-million-pound business. So that's very 9. They're big characters. Boris Johnson is a 9, big energy, big characters, strong people as well, but it's creativity. But they need boundaries. They need to give from the overflow of the cup and not the cup itself. So now we're moving on to master numbers. So no number's better than any other number, but some numbers are extra sauce, extra spice, kryptonite, right? They've got the ability to go beyond. Go beyond what? Go beyond themselves. They've got a bigger toolbox than the rest of us. They've got ability to really, really, really do what they're here to do. Their soul is looking for experience. They can go to the supermarket and something will happen to them because their soul wants the new. They're very clever because they've been here so many times before, so they've seen it. Normally they're not wrong, but the 11 is a different energy to the 22. They've both got 5,000 volts running through them, and they both suffer with procrastination, paralyzation, and mindset. So we have to kind of get out of our own way. But the 11 energy is a light. It's the cosmic connector, the spiritual teacher. In an 11 personal year, you just feel like you're being hit by a bus every day. But 11s always feel like that. They're very emotional, okay? So they have to have a direction. and they need a plan. They're full of ideas. Steph McGovern, Rachel Riley, it's quite rare energy, and they're here to, you know, really connect to spirit and to source. Now, they're both here to change the world one person at a time, but the 11 does it through spiritual connection, this bright light, and the 22 is the architect of change, and they do that through creating big structures. So look at Ali creating Costa Women, which went from a tiny seed to thousands and thousands of members today. That is very architect of change. That's very 22. That's very taking something and making it happen. 22s do need money to make things happen, or investment or grants or fundings or something, because they're here to create big structures. If a 22 has, if a 22 thinks that they've thought as big as they can, they need to think bigger again and bigger again and bigger again. But it's not an easy number to be. And a lot of 22s find it difficult to access this power, and they don't identify with it, and they end up working in the energy of 4, which is, we don't want to stay in 4 because 4 looks down. We want to go into 22, 22 looks up. So 4 is about structure and control and routine and system. Make sure you've got that, but in order to build high, okay? So who's a 22? Meghan Markle. So she came into our royal family, and Harry said she's up for the job, but she obviously wasn't, or not willing to take on with that privilege. You know, you always pay in life. So with that privilege comes duty. But so she's really changed the way our royal family operates, and that's very 22 energy. Oprah Winfrey, look at her backstory, look at her background. She'd been through so much adversity, and now she helps other people. That's very 22 energy. Love him or hate him, Donald Trump's working with the energy of the number 22. He does what he wants, okay? So that's very 22 energy. Branson as well, very 22 energy. He's dyslexic, he just doesn't use a computer, writes everything down. 22. Bob Geldof, Bill Gates, Holly Willoughby, Brad Pitt, 22 energy. Now, what we want to do, a lot of 22s feel they're in a mini car and they've got a Ferrari engine, and they're like, vroom, 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 and they don't get off the gates. So we want to make sure we've got a Ferrari engine and a Ferrari car so we can move forward. So if you're 22 and struggling, then reach out to me and I'll give you some points. So it works in our name as well. This is Google. Google vibrates at a 7 energy. 7 is the thinker and the seeker. What is Google? It seeks information. It's a search engine. So Waitrose is an 11 energy. Waitrose is elite, special. You know, France is an 11 energy. The French, you know, are special. They think they're special, but they are special. Ibiza, an 11 energy portal. London, 11 energy portal. So it's inspirational and it's the bright lights, but equally it can be quite dark. Okay, so numerology reminds you who you are. It talks to you in a way that nothing else does. I have literally transformed my life, my business, probably 150% X to my bottom line, all by aligning to who I am and what I'm here to do. Okay, it's powerful stuff. So just some questions before you ask me questions. What's going on right now with me? Personal year, which I'm sorry if I got confused in the beginning. I think I go naturally to this presentation, but this can be another presentation in a couple of weeks where I show you what's going on with your personal year, because it's very powerful to look at that, especially in these times. What's going on in the world right now is your universal year, which is 2020, which is a 22 year, which is a crazy year. And look what's going on. What should I do with my life? Go to your destiny number Ali 22, Coral 22, me 1. And how do I approach it? Your day of birth. So Ali, you're born on the 18th, aren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
So your approach is the 9. So Ali is the architect of change, but the way she navigates that is to use the 9. Now, she doesn't want to stay in 9. She might go to 9 when she's tired or overwhelmed, but 9 is the humanitarian. Don't want to stay there. You want to use it to really go for this 22. So the next big project Ali does may be something to do with a foundation to help people, or more charity work, which would be very 22-9, all right? So I'm born on the 4th. I use structure, control, planning, routine, systems to get my 1 out there. Coral, what date of birth are you born on?
17.
8. So you're the 22. So the 8, success and wealth and money. So you want to use your 8 energy to get into your 22. Strong women, being a strong person, not taking any nonsense, high standards, quality, structure, lion energy to really get into your 22. All right. So that's me. You can download my guide at josoley.com, which is my free guide, which gives you a little bit of an overview of everything that I've spoken about today. And you can find me there, josoley.com. Okay, so I'll stop sharing